Hello, my name is Brian Kirsch, and for today's additional content, I want to actually talk about an, an incident, an issue that occurred from a global standpoint, and how that affects technology and why this affects technology. Um, in spring, or late winter, early spring of obviously 2022, um, the Ukraine was invaded by Russia, and a lot of companies had serious issues with that. Um, One of the things that tech companies did, and people kind of wondered about this, but they basically banned um, selling new products, services, support, things like that. And this became something that a lot of companies did. VMware, Microsoft, Amazon. A lot of companies simply did this, and you kind of say, well, why does that matter? It's not about new sales. I want to point that out. It's about the service aspect. Okay? And let me, because this actually trees into licensing here, and you'll understand why in a second. When you buy Windows for home, office, whatever, you have to do online activation. You buy it, you activate it with Microsoft, you get your product, away you go. That does not happen that way with enterprise products. Typically, enterprise products, Windows Server, VMware software, that stuff is not activated over the internet. You don't connect your server to the internet. Microsoft sees it, gives you, okay, you can run it, all that stuff, are you good? You don't do that because you typically never connect core infrastructure to the internet. Because if you did that, somebody could come back in and, cause issues and a whole big, slate of problems here. So you never connect it, so your licensing is kind of on your own. It's like the honor system. You could pirate VMware software. It happens all the time. You could pirate Microsoft software. It happens all the time. These companies can't stop you from doing that. But there's a catch, and there's a really big one. When you have a problem and you need support, the first thing they ask you is, well, what's your key? If it's a stolen key, they won't help you. They will be like, well, hey, here's where you can buy the legal version. Here's how much it is. Once you buy it, we're happy to help you. It doesn't matter if you have a support contract, if you don't. If the key isn't valid or showing that it belongs to somebody else, stolen, what have you, they're not going to help you. They win. That is how they maintain licensing. Here's the thing that people always say, well, if I got a problem and I stole my VMware software, I'll just search on Google. When you have a major issue, when you have a critical issue and systems are down, searching on Google might not be an option. You might not have enough time. And because of that, that is a critical issue. So when these companies pulled out of supporting various vendors, companies in Russia, that is the risk they run. If you have a problem, you no longer have access to those technical resources. All it takes is one issue to bring down an entire company. Because again, you're talking about infrastructure. You're not talking about a desktop. You're talking about, let's say, a main firewall, a router, a VMware infrastructure, what have you, that has a major issue that potentially thousands of people are depending on, and you can't get it to function again. It is offline. So when companies say they're doing this, that is the impact that that has. That trees itself all the way from obviously doing that in a country to, hey, you pirated software and we're not going to help you now. And that works. That is the absolute most efficient copy protection that you can ever get. Is when you have a problem, we won't help you. And I promise you, you will have a problem. There is not a company out there that puts in high-end software or hardware that doesn't have a problem. Because things always happen. It breaks, You need software updates, what have you. You don't get that stuff unless you have that valid key. So though those pieces of, hey, we're not going to support this device. I mean, Apple did it, Android did it. That is a big deal. That has a profound impact. It's a horrible inconvenience to people. It can be absolutely devastating to companies because you will have a problem. And yeah, you might find it out on the internet after a couple hours of searching. Oh, I'm trying this, I'm trying that. Most companies don't have that kind of time to wait. And that is the dilemma with this whole thing. That's why it's a very efficient thing to say or to specify, because it's real. It actually has a substantial impact, and you have to deal with it. So that is kind of where that's all coming from, and why different companies did that from a technology standpoint. It's not about buying something new. It is about the support aspect. It's always going to be about support. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.